Hello everyone, welcome back to another Deck Tech. Today I have, as you've already seen in the title, an Izzet deck, prepped and ready for you. So, shall we begin? To start off, I have 4 Izzet gates for the land base. Just love the art. And let's see, I have 6 islands, pretty little Avacyn and Ravnica islands, Return to Ravnica of course. And then I have 7 mountains. And to start off with our 1-drops, I have 2 downsizes. The reason I have 2 is that a lot of players don't run too big of creatures. And I mean, the overload cost is usually the only thing I use it for, but if I don't have the mana and I need to use it quick, then I'll use the 1 cost. And then for our other 1-drop, I have Street Spasm, which this kind of counts as a 2-drop or more, but because of the mana symbol, I count it as a 1-drop. Street Spasm is good for players that usually aren't known for running flying creatures, which I know a few, so that's good there. The overload cost isn't that great. And then I have 3 Bluster Squalls. It's good for tapping creatures on an opponent's turn. Not so well during my own turn, except when I know someone's going to block, and so I just tap the creature. And now, starting with our 2-drops, I have 2 Teleportals. It's very rare that I even use this card, but when I do, it's usually for a winning hit or so. But sometimes they'll surprise me, and if they're running green, then they'll play a Fog or unsummon my creature, of course, as usual, as people love to do. Then we have 4 Frostburn Weirds. This is mainly for blocking purposes. Not really aggressive using this card. Oops. And then we have 4 Goblin Electromancers. Very good because of the 2-drop, 2/2, and instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. That comes into great effect late or early game, especially when we have 4 Searing Spears. It's good to have that little extra burn damage if opponents are running pretty weak monsters, and we can kill them off and just save the Searing Spears for them. Then we have 4 Izzet Charms. I've never really had to use these for counter target non-creature spell. I've mainly used it for deal 2 damage or draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. And then we have 2 Ash Zealots. Very good with the 2-drop, 2/2, first strike, and haste. Very good against the Golgari deck. Sadly, I don't have 2 more. And then we have 1 Epic Experiment. Most people don't find this card very useful. I find it extremely useful, especially if you're only using 1. Pay 2, and then however X many you pay towards the X amount, you exile those cards, then they have the X amount lower of mana cost, and you can cast them without paying it, which is extremely nice, especially for my deck, since I'm running a bunch of burn spells, well, at least the Searing Spears, and then of course the Izzet Charms deal 2 damage if I'm wanting to do that. Then we have, starting with our 3-drops, sorry I didn't say it before, we have 2 Izzet Staticasters. Sadly enough, I don't have 2 more of these cards, especially with the flash and haste and tap, deal 1 damage. Some people this isn't very good, but if you're like me and have friends that love playing Elf modern decks that run 4 of most of the Elf cards that are just 1/1s, then yeah, that's very good, especially against like Llanowar Elves or Arbor Elves. Our one and only card in our last 3-drop is Counterflux, and it's a foil. I've never really had to pay the overload cost, because it's rare that people just constantly throw out instances or sorceries in one turn at the very same time. And counter target spell you don't control. I mean, it's just like cancel. The main thing is that it can't be countered by spells or abilities, which is nice, because I hate playing cancel and that cancel getting canceled, and then so on. Starting with our 4-drop, or with our first and last 4-drop, is Essence Backlash. Now I run 4 of these, 2 of which are foil. This is very good. Like I said, I have a friend that runs a very mean mana growthing elf deck, which I might try to borrow and show you guys. This comes very good because most people like to run big creatures. I have seen people run like rolled spine worms and such. I've even seen people run Kozileks in modern tournaments, and I've played this, and this has really pissed them off. Yep. And then for this one little, starting with our 5, this one little Mercurial Chemister. I do remember getting 2 more from a friend, the same one that gave me this, but I somehow misplaced them. Now I can only run 1. Pay 5 for a 2/3. Doesn't sound good until you pay 1 blue, tap him, draw 2 cards, and then next turn pay 1 red, tap him, discard a card, then he deals damage to a target creature equal to the discards converted mana cost. Now it would have been a lot meaner if it was towards the player instead, but target creature is nice too if the opponent's not running too big of creatures. And then for our next 5-drop, we have 2 Pyroconvergences. Now, of course, as you've seen, this is an Izzet deck, so I'm running a lot of multicolored cards. So these 2 cards come in handy a lot, except when, of course, someone decides to play Naturalize and just ruin your whole day. For our next 5-drop, we have 3 Vanishments plus a foil, or one of which is a foil. This is good. I don't hard cast this, except if I have all 4 of my Goblin Electromancers in, then I can just pay 2 and then play it and hard cast it. But it's always nice to draw it another turn and play its Miracle. And last but not least, our last cards of this deck are 2 Hypersonic Dragons. Very good for the 5 pay for a 4/4 with flying and haste, and then your sorcery spells pretty much become instants. It does say as though they had flash, but pretty much all you'd have to say is make sorceries into instants. So yeah, that's my Izzet deck. I hope you enjoyed this video. A friend of mine does Magic the Gathering videos too, and he has his own art channel. I'll put those links to those channels in the description. Have a nice day, and may magic be with you.